It's time to wake up, Warriors.
Do you want to learn about why we are off school on Monday? Stay tuned to learn more about this federal holiday.
We're back with another edition of Wellness Wednesday. Keep watching to find out more on how you can stay healthy during the winter months.
All this and more on today's episode of Wake Up Warriors.
Live from Penn Trafford High School, this is Wake Up Warriors. Wake Up Warriors starts now.
Good morning, PT, and welcome to today's edition of Wake Up Warriors. We're so glad you're joining us this morning. Today is Wednesday, February 19th, and we've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. I'm Allison Pallone.
And I'm Colin Rotesic.
This past Monday, PT students and staff were offered President's Day. This is an important day to honor our presidents throughout history who have led our country. Reporter Alyssa Arco spoke to Mr. Bujakowski as well as students around the school to see who their favorite president is.
Not to mention, in honor of President's Day, we'll take a deep dive into the legacies of America's past commanders-in-chief, from their achievements to the challenges they faced. We explore how these leaders helped shape the nation we know today. We sat down with Mr. Bujakowski and Mrs. Smith to learn about this holiday.
President's Day is celebrated on the third Monday in February, and it was originally set out for George Washington's birthday, and it later evolved into a day to celebrate all the presidents in the United States. It became recognized, like I said, to celebrate George Washington's birthday, but also President Abraham Lincoln's birthday is also in February. So we kind of use this as a day to recognize the impact and overall sacrifice that each president put in during their time in office. To recognize and honor this day because, like I said, every president sacrificed their entire life to be in the office and think what they did was correct for the country. So whoever it is, find your favorite president and think about what they did and how it impacted you as an American.
I went out to explore the importance of President's Day by asking students and staff at PT who their favorite president is and why.
My favorite president is John F. Kennedy because he helped the U.S. get to the moon.
My favorite president would have to be Abraham Lincoln because he was actually a wrestler.
My favorite president is George Washington because he's the OG.
My favorite president is Taft because he got stuck in a bathtub in the White House.
I like Lincoln because he was tall and cool.
I would say my favorite president is Taft because I feel bad for him because everybody just remembers him for being fat.
My favorite president, that's easy, Barack Obama.
My favorite president is William Henry Harrison because he died in like 20 days.
My favorite president is Abe Lincoln because of his efforts in the Civil War.
My favorite president would have to be George Washington, only because I grew up with part of his family in my neighborhood, and probably that's the only reason.
This has been Alyssa Arco reporting for PT TV.
So George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were both born in February, so you could say that President's Day kind of falls closer to their birthdays, but President's Day on a whole is really to just celebrate the presidents that gave a majority of their life to this country and help bring the United States to what it is today.
President's Day is actually something that started back in 1885, and it started to honor George Washington's birthday. His birthday is February 22nd. And so over the course of time, people really began to just honor the birthdays of other presidents, like Lincoln, whose birthday is in and around the same time period. So in 1971, the federal government decided to put President's Day, George Washington's birthday, on the third Monday in February. And they did it because they were trying to reorganize some federal holidays in an effort to give federal workers more three-day weekends. And so that's how it ended up on the third Monday in February. And so over the course of time, we just began to honor all presidents on President's Day.
This has been Aderingsola Adedimila reporting from PT TV.
With it being the middle of winter, sickness is bound to spread throughout the school and PT community. Here with the February edition of Wellness Wednesday is Nurse Popovich with some tips on how to stay healthy when sickness is making its rounds.
Well, one of the reasons is This is the time of year that everybody's inside. There is less time outside running around and being in fresh air. We are more confined. And when we're more confined and we're together longer inside, a lot of times viruses will spread that way. When you just walk in, you grab the door, and all of a sudden you just, for some reason, put your hand to your mouth, you can spread a virus that way. So it's really important that if you are having a cough or a cold, make sure you're either using a tissue with your hand. One of the most important ways to prevent yourself from getting sick is keeping yourself healthy, getting a good night's sleep, eating. Make sure you're staying hydrated. Get out there and exercise. Do some things that will increase the immunities so that you're not feeling sick.
PT student Abby Raymond is fundraising for 8-year-old Nora, a brave leukemia survivor diagnosed at just 1 year old. Nora has spent the past 7 years battling this disease and has finally triumphed. We spoke to Abby, who is dedicated to supporting as she embraces a bright, cancer-free future.
So we're doing this whole fundraiser. We're going and talking to different businesses and seeing if they'll sponsor us, and we are raising money. We already are like $4,000, almost $4,000 in, and the fundraiser just started. We're really close with their family, so whenever my mom told them that I was doing this, she sent a video back and was like jumping up and down and was like, "I'm so excited, like this is so great." So I think it really means a lot to her. So Nurse Pop sent out an email through like the CAP weekly emails, and my fundraising link is on that page. So if they just click on the link, they can make a donation.
February is here, and that means it's time for the February Freeze Frenzy. The Warriors for All Club is hosting a polar plunge where students get the exciting opportunity to nominate a teacher to take a plunge into a cold bath of water. It's sure to be a fun and frosty event, so here are some of the organizers to tell you more.
The Warriors for All Club will be celebrating our February Freeze Frenzy, and we will be selling polar bears and crossouts to nominate your favorite teacher to do a polar plunge. The first round of our bracket will be going on until Friday. The rest of the fundraiser will end in 2 weeks.
The cost for a polar bear is $1. The cost for a crossout is also $1.
The proceeds will be going to the Warriors for All Club, and we will be using the money for our polar plunge in Pittsburgh.
Now let's see what some of your favorite teachers have to say about this competition.
I picked Miss Aston only because she's in my bracket, and I would rather her go than me because she's younger. I think she would enjoy the event more, and plus I put a whole lot more money in her bin than I think is in mine.
I think everyone should vote for Mr. Zimmer because I believe that's who I'm against, and I really don't want to do the cold plunge.
I honestly think that Mr. Aquilio should go in this polar plunge. I will tell you, as being a teacher on the front lines here at the school, the vibe I'm getting from the student body is that this guy needs to chill out.
The Winter Athletic Breakfast will be held next Wednesday at 7:30 a.m. in the cafeteria. All winter sports athletes, pep band members, and Cafe Warriors are invited to attend. We hope to see you there.
Spring sports registration is now open. You can find the link to Arbiter Sports website by going to ptwarriors.org and clicking on the link for spring sports registration. Registration will close on February 27th, so register now and get your athletic, physical, and impact concussion tests submitted for clearance.
Last night in sports. The boys basketball team traveled to Baldwin last night for a first-round matchup. The Warriors played a strong, complete game, which helped them upset the second-seed Fighting Highlanders. The Warriors' offense was too much to Baldwin to handle. Paving the way for a decisive 60-45 victory, key players stepped up, showcasing their skills and teamwork, which ultimately led to this impressive win.
Tonight in sports, the girls' basketball team is on the road to Thomas Jefferson for a 6 o'clock tip-off for the second round of the WPIAL 5A basketball playoffs. Good luck to our Warriors tonight. And that concludes today's broadcast of Wake Up Warriors. We now invite you to stand for the Pledge of the Flag. Thank you for tuning in. This has been Allison Pallone
and Colin Ratesic. Have a great day, PT.